What is up, guys? Welcome to today's trade recap. And finally, I have a losing day. I don't think I'll be taking anything else. 2 p.m. just opened. I doubt it though. I'll kind of explain what's going on here, but yeah, I took one trade in the PM today. Pretty much throughout the day, I more so had a bullish bias like for the start of the day. It started to look like that wouldn't play out. We kind of teased this high. We came down and then we started recovering back up during lunch and like 11 a.m. to lunch session. Well, like right before lunch session, going into lunch session basically. And I mean, obviously, like there was some things I saw that obviously could have been entries, but I'm not trading between 11 a.m. and lunch. Just something I just don't do. So there was really nothing I could have done to catch anything from here on out. But then coming into lunch, oh, let me drop that back. Coming into lunch is when we started to dump again, and around p.m. like 1 p.m. Eastern is when I hopped back on and was like looking around. I'm like, yeah, mainly all the objectives have been met today. Everything was looking kind of like not really that good. But then I went on the 15 minute and I was like, wait, we are pretty much now doing a V shape towards the AM session low, and that's really the only target that I could see being left for today. So I was like, oh, okay. So then while I was looking at all the different time frames here, I marked out 5 minute like discount of this range, saw that we were creeping up into it. We had a 5 minute roughly around here, which I'll just show, and here. But then I'm like, okay, I have to wait for a 15 minute to open up. Then 15 minute opened up, and I was like, okay, if we're gonna continue this bearish momentum down, we should respect discount of the 5 minute range as well as the first tap into a 15 minute bearish fair value gap that opened up. That's exactly what started to happen, and not ideal. Again, I never like high time frame inverses like 4 or 5 minutes. They usually you just have to allow so much more room for the trade. That's one thing I don't like, but that also usually includes higher risk, like higher stop loss points wise, and obviously, but I mean, it does justify for a larger TP as well. But again, it's just not something I don't. I feel like it's shooting for a home run essentially, both on the stop loss side, especially on the TP side. But this one was not bad, around 25 points originally stop loss, and obviously pretty far target 76. So this would be a very great risk to reward if it did work out still. But yeah, so it was a 5 minute inverse, really small. But I couldn't enter on the close. This was obviously way too far for me to want to re-enter. So then I was like, the only way I'm gonna enter this is if we get a retrace back up. I even was like, ideally, like really, really close to the inverse, but I was like, okay, I'll leave a little bit of leeway. We started buying back up, and roughly right about here is when I bought, sold into the buying pressure, and I took 3 micros on this. Even though it was 25 points, which on 5 micros would have been $500, just the risk to reward too. Again, I've been on a winning streak, as I've already mentioned multiple videos, so I'm okay sizing down and preserving capital, to not let anything get to my emotions wise. But then also, this would have been plenty if this would hit full TP with 3 micros, so I would be totally satisfied with it. And yeah, entered into the position. We started pretty much going into, yeah, like I bought at a perfect time or sold at a perfect timing. We started going into profit right away, and then started seeing a little bit of a pullback again. And that is where I was like, okay, the market has been, or price has just been weird today in general. Like there was a lot of people I had seen who, I mean, ICT in general, but still, even trade inverse fair value gaps, targeting this original CPI data high and got edged there. And then again, I saw people with the same thing as me where I was bullish towards these technically buy side level right here, or these highs up here. But even towards the AM highs, I saw people target, and then it got edged again and totally plummeted. So I kind of forgot where I was going on that factor. Oh, yeah. So today, I would say is not the highest probability day. So again, although I was confident on my draw, it still is like, okay, if I'm seeing rejection here and we're not dumping here when we were already in profit, we kind of had this LRL, lows down here, everything like that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is when we started moving down initially and we weren't just starting to flush with how everything else has been in the morning and the lunch session today, I was like, okay, I'm just going to de-risk. So as much as it sucks, though, I mean, again, I did de-risk to right there, which was now going from 150 to basically like 100, 105. So again, I just thought it was the right play. I'm just wanting to de-risk as, like I said, as low as possible, especially since it's been a while since I've taken a loss. If I could just take an easy loss like that. Plus, again, it has to do with, like I said, price. Price is not reacting the way I want to. I could have technically gone, well, I couldn't have gone break even because it didn't hit my break even point, but I was about like almost 1-to-1 in profit from stop loss to where price was, but it's still, I was like, I'd rather just de-risk than go break even. So that's what I did. And it's pretty unfortunate, but I got stopped out essentially right to like a tick, maybe a couple ticks. And that is when we then created an SMT with ES, and price continued moving in my favor. And we are about 20-ish points away from the take profit. So who knows if it will hit it. I mean, either way, by this point, I don't know if I'd be trailing for sure, but maybe I would be, and I get stop in profit. Who knows? It's all hypothetical at this point now. But either way, the bias for the most part is pretty much right. Even if this doesn't hit full TP, the bias was right. It just was the timing, whereas it just, but I mean, in this scenario, it's kind of up to probabilities. This could have not created an SMT and taken out the high and then still reversed, or even continue to go higher. I mean, again, I can only react to what the market does. I can't predict. So there's no really way to say how else this could have played out. Now, again, I had a trade a couple weeks ago where I almost did get stopped and I didn't, and it went to full TP, and this is kind of one of those times where it's the opposite, and it is what it is. But I mean, losing $100 first losing day, and I don't know. Again, I technically had a break. Well, I did have a break even day, so if you want to count that as the win streak breaking, but I think it was like a 6-day win streak or 5-day win streak. So I can't really complain. I was once we had created this SMT, I was looking, and there was almost this 1 minute, and I thought we had inversed it too, but we didn't, and that flushed. There was a possibility to, well, there wasn't really a possibility to buy back in because we already took out the internal low, but that would have been nice if we didn't and could have entered here. But I was like, yeah, I think after this, that's pretty much it for today. And I don't really think there will be anything else because my draw is still going to be this AM low within the next 20 minutes. That's roughly how much longer I'd give being on the charts for. And I just feel like at this point it'd be chasing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. But first loss in a few days, and I'm fine with it, even though, again, I pretty much got stopped by a little bit and price is running in my favor. But it's good to have a losing day, I guess, finally, just to know that, again, which I've been planning for, I'm not like gonna win 100% of the time. But yeah, pretty much it for today. I'm gonna stop yapping, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.